This is Doug's.
We don't want to play D, right?
No, I don't want to play D. I'm the offense.
Oh my god, they scored.
Doug's is it's so funny. They're such
They
bunch
scored.
of
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Amendment is sick. We're not playing defense, right? No, I don't want to play defense. Oh my god, they scored. So instant. You send or did you email the thumbnail?
Yeah, I did. But I go to sent mail.
Oh, okay. Cool. What's up with all the Joe Burrow like trash ones? They're so funny.
It's Lambo hates Joe Burrow and he hates the Bengals.
Why? Is he a Ravens fan?
Yeah, he's a Ravens fan.
Okay.
And he thinks Joe Burrow is like Jared Goff. It's actually the funniest bit that he keeps sending us. You gotta be shitting me, dude. Why the fuck would it go all the way over there? Come on. Come on, can this dude? This is actually freaking me out. Come on. All right, I guess I just can't see any. I'm not gonna be able to see any of the comments. All right.
What? Oh, Avery's trying to get in.
Dude, why won't this fucking work? Christ. I guess I'm on live. On.
Yeah, you're good. What's going on?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Dude, my computer's all sorts of fucked up. We have to start this right now.
Okay.
All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
I'm currently don't have a mouse, so I'm a little frustrated because
Asshole.
I literally can't see anything on my computer screen because I can't move anything around because my laptop, like the mouse pad, just doesn't want to click and hold. So I hope the stream looks all right. I mean, I know it's recording, so I hope the stream looks all right. But I'm not. I'm not.
I can pull it up to check.
All right. I'm not gonna be able to
I can see
any
that we're
comments.
live. Looks good. Looks good to me.
All right. I'm glad it looks good. Luckily, this
So,
isn't. If
I'm
this
not
was-
going to be watching it, but in this very moment,
It
looks
shouldn't
good.
change. I'm not gonna touch my laptop. Luckily, my if this was the last episode, also this is such a terrible start. It's been a long time.
What's the last episode?
This is last episode was the 24th of July. No, we haven't missed anything. The Olympics
Was it actually?
Olympics still aren't over. We did uniform rankings. Luckily, we're not doing that today. If I had to do the pictures on this laptop, we would just cancel the episode. Anyways, and so yeah, now we're doing NFL team tiers. So I'm pumped. I'm glad this is working. Well, let's get started. You ready, Chris?
You look like a fish out of water. I just saying.
Why? I just don't look in place.
No mouse, no chair.
No,
yeah. Cross applesauce.
Yeah, I need to situate. So yeah, for the people at home, I'm in South Carolina again, at my lovely girlfriend's house. I need to situate a better pod spot for next time we pod if I'm still here. I shouldn't be here for too. I'm here for like another week. But if we do another pod, which we probably will, I'm gonna have to get a better spot. That's okay though. I'm comfortable. I'm now set up. I feel like I have more range of motion, so I'm into that.
That's good. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, let's get started. All right, NFL tiers. The NFL season is coming in underway. Preseason games have started. We had a trade that went down 10 minutes ago, Chris. The Vikings are trading
Is it official?
former first-round pick Andrew Bluth to the Cowboys.
Never mind.
In exchange for Nahshon Wright, who must be another corner. Weird. Player for player trade.
I thought you were gonna say something about Ayuk.
Is there something brewing?
Steelers momentum. So I thought maybe that there was something that happened officially.
There is a lot of Steelers momentum.
I'm sure you saw the Pats storyline.
Yeah,
how they offered him like over $30 million.
Yeah, they offered a bunch of money. He said he didn't want to go, so they pulled out. It was funny, like it was like a funny way to do it. They're like, we're pulling out of the Brandon Ayuk situation because Brandon Ayuk does not want to play for us. It was like a very sad announcement.
Rescinding his invite to the what team it was.
It was the Warriors.
The Warriors, maybe.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're not going to come to the White House, and he's like, perfect, you're not invited.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. They got ahead of the story. That's what it was like, basically. They got ahead of the story. Like we're gonna say we don't want him before
everyone finds out that
yes.
you offer to be the highest paid player on your team.
And I think it's funny. They had the trade package would have had Kendrick Bourne in it, I think you would have needed that because there's a lot of you drafted 2 rookie wide receivers. It wouldn't have been a stupid trade. Like I wouldn't have hated it. You get a fresh wide receiver to go with Drake May, and you have 2 rookies that can work behind them. They have a bunch of cap space. I don't know why you wouldn't burn it. So, what wouldn't have been a terrible move, but I could see why Brandon Ayuk. He wouldn't want to go from the 49ers, a team that is bet on favorite to win the Super Bowl every year, to the Patriots.
But like,
who
what?
have-
This
rather
is
than
obviously a
betting
side tangent to
number
what
one
we're
pick.
actually going to talk about. But like, who is going to make a trade for him that is a team that he wants to go to? Like all the teams that can afford to not only trade for him but to then extend him are teams like the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly. And or like the Steelers, where it's like, I guess if you want to put your baskets in Russell Wilson and
Mm.
Justin Fields, he said he didn't like the. I think the official quote was he didn't like the
Basket with holes.
quarterbacks. He didn't like the quarterbacks of the Patriots, so he doesn't want a rookie.
Damn, so he didn't even try to deflect from the real issue.
No, he came out and was like, "Yeah, I just don't. I think the
at
quarterbacks."
all.
Yeah, I think that's pretty funny.
That is
I mean, and like he's a rookie quarterback. If you're trying to force your way out, you don't want to go to a rookie quarterback. So I can understand that.
yeah, right. But I will say for Drake May, hanging up in the locker room, dude.
Yeah. Put that quote board because they always have.
70%.
They just at this point, it's funny. It's not like newspapers anymore. You can just print out the Instagram post, the Bleacher Report quote, because it has Brandon Ayuk in the background. It has a nice quote, and it says the quarterbacks, and then why he doesn't want to go to the Patriots. It's a great thing to put up in your locker room. That's a great quote board right
Yep.
there. All right. That being said, I don't know who trades for him. I think the Niners might just extend him.
I think they're gonna sit on it.
They should. I mean, they need to get a.
They're not the cut. We did this whole thing with Debo, no?
Yes, we did. I feel like we've been doing this with Ayuk for way too long too.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, it needs to be taken care of.
Wide receiver is like just the most dramatic position in any sport.
I don't know. Have you
Like,
seen
with the
a
holdouts and the
quarterback?
contact stuff.
Like when a quarterback gets fishy,
But
a quarterback gets really fishy.
I guess, but it's not the same volume. Like the
That's
quarterback
true.
contracts, like feels like they just happen. Like there are like the Kirk thing in Washington. Like there are cases where it becomes into this whole charade. But I feel like usually they just get paid, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's the difference, I guess, is that people are just more willing to pay quarterbacks every time compared to wide
Yeah.
receivers. All right. Let's get on to our tier rankings. You want to start from the bottom or the top?
Ooh, good question. 'Cause we usually start at the top.
Yeah, we
We
normally
start at the
start
bottom
top.
this time.
Yeah, I was thinking let's start at the bottom with the teams. All right. I did mine in not only tier order, but how I think they're like I ranked them too within the tiers. So I'm gonna go by that way.
Oh, I didn't do that.
That's
But
okay.
I can do it on the fly.
All right, so the worst team in the NFL. Let's just start with that before we get to the tier. Who do you think the worst team in the NFL is going to be?
I think it's still Carolina.
You think it's Carolina?
Back to back.
I think it's
I can't like. They were the worst team in the league, and they didn't have a first-round draft pick, and they didn't really upgrade at all. They traded away their best player, lost a starting linebacker on defense. Did they add any receivers?
They got Deontay Johnson.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't really do it for me.
They got Xavier Legette.
Offensive line.
Offensive line, they got 2 guards.
Okay,
So they upgraded there a little bit.
and they have a rookie head coach who nobody really wanted.
Do we
Yeah,
know
I don't
that?
know. I'm not. Canales.
I mean,
confident.
yeah, that's fair.
I
I'll
was
give you
dialed
that.
into the coaching search.
That's true. That's true. You were
No
not.
one. His name did not come up for anyone, and then he was hired by the Packers. I'm not saying that automatically means he's not going to work out. I'm saying that it's less likely.
Okay. I get the logic there. I'm going with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I figured that was.
They're starting Jarrett Stidham. They draft.
That's like a major white and red flag at
So
the same time.
Sean Payton. Let's just go back. Sean Payton says they take Bo Picks at number 12 overall in the NFL draft. Sean Payton goes, last time I felt this confident in a guy, I was begging the Saints to trade up for Patrick Mahomes. And now we're 3 weeks away from the start of the season, and Jarrett Stidham is taking number 1 reps, and he's the 3rd string behind Zach Wilson and Jarrett Stidham. I gotta say, I'm leaving Maryland.
In all fairness, the depth charts are not official.
I get it.
They are clearly announced as unofficial depth charts.
I get that. But I just want to say, I'm leaving Maryland. I'm driving out. You know, you gotta. I'm about to endeavor on 7 more hours of in a car. Luckily, there's a little bit of traffic. I get on my DraftKings account, and I put in
DraftKings in the car.
I put on. Cool. I realized like, oh, I'm leaving Maryland. I'm not gonna have any legal gambling.
Got
when I
it.
go
Okay,
to
that's
South
why this.
Carolina.
Okay, I'm tracking now.
And I pull up the DraftKings. I bet Denver Broncos worst record in the NFL. I think it's. Let me see what the bet slip is. I think it's plus 800. So it was nice odds.
It also it just seems like a situation where they hired Sean Payton
Plus
to
600.
revive his team, and it's just like the complete opposite. Like he had his run with the Saints.
Yeah,
He's not the type of coach that can just walk in and turn a franchise around. And he has a very high ego, a very shitty quarterback room.
Well, and they had a lot. The other
It's just
issue is
not a risk. And they traded away so many draft picks too.
they have a lot of other
Move
issues.
Right back up to get Bo Nix.
They have a lot of other issues other than quarterback too. Like this team gave up 80 points in a game. Remember that? Gave up 80 points to the Dolphins. In an NFL on a Sunday, you have 80 points.
They lost to the Commanders.
They lost to the Commanders.
They blew a 3-touchdown lead.
Yeah.
After that game, the Commanders finished 2-13.
There's a lot of problems with this team, and they wasted their draft picks on more quarterbacks to chuck at the wall. All right, what's the tier then?
I mean, they're 31. They're 31 on mine.
There you go.
So
there you go. All right, let's look at the overall tier.
Okay, so my bottom 2 tiers are trash, but could be encouraging, and then trash, and I'm very concerned.
Okay.
So the teams that fall into that bottom tier is the Panthers, the Broncos, and the New York Football Giants.
Nice.
And Hard Knocks didn't help because it gave me no confidence that team is being run the right way.
No, neither am I. Yeah, that's
none at all.
So we both watched Hard Knocks within this break of podcasting. How did you like it?
Not original. The first.
Yes,
because now we have actual Hard Knocks.
Yes.
On. I thought this one was way better.
I thought it was way more interesting
than normal Hard Knocks. I think I watched the first episode of Bears Hard Knocks on Tuesday.
Yeah, same here.
I was all pumped up for it, and I was like, it wasn't as good.
No, I fell asleep. I was bored. I was like, this is boring.
It doesn't help that Eberflus is the most boring person.
He was he got his hair cut
on a TV screen. It was a 10-minute segment was how he got a haircut, and then he grew out his beard.
Yeah,
and that was the big
and now
story.
It's a whole new
Caleb Williams and Simone Biles. That was the episode. It was horrible.
It was.
I was like, I got my girlfriend so pumped. I was like, we're watching Hard Knocks tonight. Football's back.
She snoozed too. Yeah. I'm glad. It seems like I didn't sleep through it then, because it seems like I watched all of it. Simone Biles, Caleb Williams, terrible at singing, got a big signing bonus, and then Matt Eberflus who grew out a beard, and it changed his whole I think his wife loves him more because he has a beard now. That's what it seemed like.
He in all fairness, he does look a lot better with a beard.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
But that's not when I not what I want to see on Hard Knocks.
Beard changed a white boy's life. As a guy with a beard, I can speak to it. So wait,
Anyway,
say
the
that tier
Giants
again.
Hard Knocks.
Oh wait, yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Trash, and I'm very concerned. Panthers, Giants, Broncos.
We got off on a tangent of Hard Knocks. I was forgetting where we were at real quick. But
So
yes,
yeah. So Hard Knocks, the Giants clearly do not want Daniel Jones to be their quarterback.
no,
It probably is a conversation every 15 minutes.
Yep.
Where they say, well, if we just go with Daniel, like we'll have to do this.
and they have
the
like
whole
no
time,
other options
like,
too. They're like,
please,
if we
we
go
have
with
no
Daniels.
options. Because the top three are just the top three in the draft are all like, yeah, we're not going anywhere. I
Yeah,
guess they didn't like JJ enough.
no, they didn't give a crap about JJ.
That was pretty funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I thought the one thing I was very surprised. I thought they were in on JJ, and like there was some like that
I did too.
that there was a possibility that they were going to take him at 6. They didn't care
Yeah.
about JJ at all.
They were in on May, is who they were in on.
Yes, they liked May a lot, but they didn't care about JJ at all.
No, or Penix.
No, or Penix at all. But
I don't know
if they
anyone
stick with
was
Daniels,
in on
um,
So yeah, now they're on the hook for another year. Daniel Jones. They clearly hate him, which it honestly kind of made me like Daniel Jones a little bit more because I feel bad for him.
no, I didn't.
But
I
yeah,
didn't feel bad for him.
So
They
no,
talked to him like they talked about him like he was just a guy who robbed them of $40 million. Like that's
they gave him the contract.
I know
last
that's the
year.
thing. That's the thing. They gave him the
Hasn't
contract.
even been a year. That's the most absurd. Well, it's been a little over a year now, but at the time of this discussion, like 12 months ago, you guys gave him $40 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
You felt
just
great
because
about it somehow.
they won one playoff game, so that's it. That'll do it.
Yeah.
And now they have a whole documentary about how much they want a replacement of him, and then they didn't get a replacement. They got a wide receiver for him,
Yeah, they got Drew Lock, be their backup,
who apparently played terrible in the
And-
preseason game.
and they signed 2 offensive linemen.
Oh,
So
and
like those are stepping stones. Because that's something, I guess.
it was fun to see the moves, but then when they're talking,
Mhm.
so they're talking about it's like 3 episodes about Saquon Barkley, and every time the GM talks to Saquon, he just confirms to Saquon like, "Hey, we don't really want you. Like, we just want to see like how little we can give you before."
That's exactly what he
Before
said.
you're
And Saquon was
insulted.
like, okay,
Yeah, he's like he calls him up and he's like,
okay, you will come back and tell us, right? And also, the Eagles gave him like $500K more than what their like breaking point was. I was like, really? You couldn't cough up
well,
an extra
and you
$1
could
million?
tell all that stuff was only for the cameras because the cameras were there,
Mhm.
and if
And
the
then they
cameras,
tried to guilt trip him. They were like, oh, well, if he wants to be a Wall of Fame guy for the Giants, he'll take a hometown discount. It's like, no one's going to take a hometown discount to play for the Giants.
and the
Come on, man.
like Hall of Fame, like I'm already in the Giants Hall of Fame, buddy. Like I've been carrying this team for relevance for 8 years now, and
Right.
the other thing, it's like the best part was he gets off the phone. It's like Saquon's going to the Eagles. They all like fake disappointment. They're all so sad, and then immediately 2 seconds later, they're like, D-Ball's like, so we're good on Singletary, and he's like, we're in. It's like
Motor.
and yeah, and it's like Devin Singletary. Yeah, Motor. We're good on Motor. Motor's
Yeah,
all of a sudden
right.
signed to the contract. It's like you didn't give a
Like,
shit
can we
about
please not
Saquon.
say Saquon Barkley and Devin Singletary in the same breath?
Oh, they didn't care
What are we
about
doing
they didn't
here?
care about Saquon at all. And if I'm a Giants fan, I'm watching that like, man, they didn't care at all about keeping Saquon.
No, not at all. I thought the best part of that whole saga was when John Morrow walks in. And
He
he's
always
like,
walks in with his
"I'm
hands in his
gonna lose
pockets.
sleep." He just like puts in.
He saunters
He's
in.
like, yo, I'm really gonna lose sleep if he goes to the Eagles. And he's like, no, like it'll be okay.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry about it.
All right, and he comes out, and like the show cuts to NFL Network. Breaking news: Saquon Barkley is signed with division rival Philadelphia Eagles, and then it cuts right back to Shane's office, and Mara just puts his arm in, and Shane just like, "We're gonna be fine, John. It's gonna be okay." He's like, "I think so too, but this isn't great."
My favorite was right before the draft. He's like, I'm gonna have heart palpitations. It's like, all right, buddy, relax, relax over there. You're not even making any decisions here. You're just sitting here. Wait. And he kept talking about how he's like, oh,
Oh,
just
man.
like how we traded up for Eli. Same thing
Yeah,
here.
right.
It's like you're not trading up for
If you
shit, man.
realize, like,
like
how
look at
lucky
the
you
look at
got
the look
with
at the
Eli,
clown
like-
in the chair. This guy's not trading up for shit.
Also, let's not make. I know they won 2 Super Bowls. Let's not make Eli Manning the standard of what we're shooting for here. Eli Manning had.
Didn't they already? They
more
just inked
subpar
Eli Manning
years
to,
than he
to
had
40
good
million. They just inked up Eli. I don't know what their problem is. All right, let's get back. We're just talking about Hard Knocks now. Let's
Anywho.
get back to the let's get back to the
Giants are
tiers.
30.
They're rightfully so. They're 30 on mine too. I have 32 and 31
Okay.
flipped. I have my
Wow.
bottom tier is just happy to be here. They're not going to contend for anything. They're probably not going to be close to 500. Maybe they'll win 7 games, and they'll be very, very happy to be there and win 7 games. And that is both our teams. So the New England Patriots, the Washington Commanders, the New York Football Giants, the Panthers, and the Broncos. So it gets pretty doom and gloom after the first 2, but but that's where we are. That's our
Wait,
lives
there's
now.
our 2 teams, and then what I had in my tier.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's upsetting that we're in that tier, but well, we have something. Like, we have things to be excited
The
about.
thing is, the other
Like, what do you
the other
think?
3 teams are
Mindset.
declining.
We got
We've
12
already
sacks.
reached the rock bottom. That's the thing.
That's true.
Like we've hit the bottom. It's not
true.
going to get much worse than
I,
what we've had.
God willing, we've hit bottom.
That's a good point. It's a great
Because
point.
sometimes you think that, and
That's
it
a good
gets
point.
worse.
And you know it's funny. I'm the rookie at this being bad thing. You're the vet
Mhm.
here, so like you have to talk me down when
Yeah.
it's like, oh, at least we're promising that this is perfect. This is when I need you to be like, this is what you think. You think you're promising until it's 10 years of promising. Then
I think if you have a rookie quarterback, you're automatically promising.
oh, of course,
If
unless you're the
Well,
Broncos.
right, there are conditions. If you have if you have a top 5 pick and you took a rookie quarterback, that there was at least just some consensus that that was the right pick. Then you are promising. Like when
Yeah.
the Giants took Daniel Jones at 6, and everybody's like, "What?
Yeah,
That's not promising."
That's
Penix
true.
at 8, not promising. I know it's a different situation, but Knicks at 12,
nah,
not promising.
JJ, promising.
I'd say that's promising, but it's situation.
But that's
situation.
more of situation. That's more of situational
Right, correct.
promising.
So we are promising right now,
Yes.
and let's enjoy that while we have it.
It's funny. You're right.
'Cause
You're
it
right.
could- it could blow
There's
up
almost 2
even
different
worse.
tiers of promising teams. There's the promising team that has the highly drafted rookie quarterback, and then there's the promising team that has like the good team around the midly drafted quarterback.
Or you're the Bears,
Or you're the Bears.
and the expectations are through the roof.
That's true. Yeah, honestly, it's funny. Like any normal team that if they any team that had the last 2 years as the Bears would be in a completely different tier of what they were if they didn't get Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah,
All right, let's
yeah.
go to
We'd
the
just
next.
be doing the field charade again.
Let's go to
Okay,
the
my next tier. This is my trash, but could be encouraging, and I have our 2 teams, and then I have the Tennessee Titans and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay, I like that. I had them in a.
Titans,
Go ahead.
I was just kidding. Titans have Levis,
Uh-huh.
so we don't really know. We kind of talked about that when we did QB tiers. Kind of a wild card. They could definitely be dropped down to the lowest tier within 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Vegas, I think they did the right thing by not giving up too much for a quarterback this year. I like Antonio Pierce. Like if there's actually as much buy-in for him as it seemed like there was at the end of last season when they promoted him, then I don't know. Things could be moving in the right direction, at least just culture wise.
Mhm.
Roster wise, I think they're still trash. When
They're
you have to bring in Gardner Minshew, not a good sign.
yeah, and they just kind of punted on that whole quarterback thing. Like I thought they were gonna try
They
something
did,
with
yeah.
the
They kicked
draft.
the can down the road.
Well, they kicked the can down the road, and I think they thought if Penix or if what's his name, Bo Pix make it to the second round, maybe we'll throw something at it.
Mhm.
And I just don't think. I mean, they went way earlier than they expected. So
Yeah.
hell, they
But I have no issue with that.
no, I have no issue with that either. So, but I agree. It just puts them at this limitation where their ceiling for wins is going to be capped off at I don't know 8 because of Gardner Minshew.
I was gonna say 7.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
And then a tough division too.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I guess not as tough as it used to be.
I don't know. I mean, the Chargers are tough, but they we'll get to them soon. Yeah, they're a weird one. I had a comparable tier
But-
to yours. It was the fight to 500. It is the
Okay.
Vikings, the Raiders, the Titans, and the Saints.
I have a couple of them in my next tier.
So similar to tier to you.
I'll just
Go ahead. You said you.
I was just gonna get to my well, no, my next tier has 6 teams. You keep going with.
All right.
We can talk about the 2 that I have.
All right. So the Vikings and the Saints are the ones we haven't really talked about yet. Vikings rookie quarterback ish, Sam Darnold ish. I think it's gonna be Sam to start out. They have a great roster though. They have a good defense. They have great offensive weapons around JJ McCarthy and or Sam Darnold. It'll be a matter of how well the QB can play to see how many wins they get. They can have nine wins. I feel like as their ceiling, and they could have 2 wins as their floor. Like if Sam Darnold plays terribly, they could be really really bad. If JJ McCarthy can't get it together, they could be really really bad. If they put those,
I think
pieces,
there's too much talent on that team to be that bad.
You think so?
Unless they have injuries. If Justin Jefferson gets hurt, then
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And
I also like KOC,
you like who?
Kevin O'Connell.
Oh, yeah. He's a good coach. I like him a lot. I think from what we've seen, from what I've seen on the receiver Netflix show and the quarterback Netflix show, because he was in both of them, the way that he talks to the players, I just like the way that he coaches. I think he's a
And
good coach.
that is like the final determinant of whether or not you're a good coach.
Yeah, can you look good on a Netflix show while I'm watching it? That's a great point.
Eberflus can't.
I don't
I
know.
don't
I
know
was
about
kind of
the fight.
in. You're kind of out on the beard.
You were in on
I was
Eberflus?
kind of in on the bearded Eberflus. Him talking though, I will say,
His like hype speech though at the beginning of the episode was so
it was a
awful.
snooze fest. It was. I was about to say him
So
like hyping
bad.
up the guys is really bad. He can't hype up
It's
shit.
so bad. You don't become a winner by winning. You don't become a loser by losing.
Yeah, that was bad. It was
Folks.
consistently. Yeah, it was all about consistently winning
So
and
bad.
consistently. I can't tell. I just like you. I like the
Yeah.
beard and haircut Eberflus. All right, what's your next tier? I got a big one too. I wonder if it'll be. similar.
I named this one Holy Mid. And these are the teams that like 6 to 9 wins is my range.
Okay.
Tampa Bay,
Yep.
Pittsburgh,
Okay.
the Vikings we just talked about,
Mhm.
Cardinals,
Yep.
Chargers,
Mhm.
and Saints.
Okay.
Like those teams, you are going into the season finding a way to convince yourself that this is going to be an exciting year, and it's not. Like the Bucks,
So.
I don't even know what you say for the Bucks. You made the playoffs last year, so that's something. Steelers, you're going to convince yourself that one of the 2 quarterbacks, either you're going to have like a renaissance from Russell Wilson or Fields is going to break out. They've all convinced themselves one way or another. Vikings, you have a rookie quarterback. Arizona, Kyler's back full year. Weren't as bad as they were last year. Chargers, you have Harbaugh. I don't know about the Saints. I can't even come up with something like
There's
that
nothing.
that are about as mediocre as
There's
it
nothing.
gets. Sign Chase Young to a prove it deal.
Oh, great. Sign Chase Young. Jesus. That was a stretch, even from you. You that was a stretch.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was on a roll there. I was just looking at the logos and like because I've been doing this for 22 years, thinking about something to get excited about for the football season.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy. But when like I see that logo,
I don't know what the hell you get excited about with the Saints.
I have no idea. Nothing. There's literally nothing.
I like that tier though. I like that tier because you're right. There's something you can get excited about, something you can get excited for each one of these teams. I think the key is, for me, a lot of these teams are in this tier that I call fighting for the playoffs.
Mhm.
Which, those guys, a lot of the tier consists of the same 4 teams that are in. Colts were in your tier, right?
No. I don't have Colts.
All right, Chargers, Tampa Bay, Seahawks, Steelers, Cardinals were all in there, right?
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, like those teams they can end up being bad. One injury away, even of being really bad.
Yeah, one injury away from like top 5 pick.
Yeah, or they can sneak in. I could not be surprised if any of these teams sneak in as the last wild card spot.
Yeah, and they're teams where like if everything goes right, you're 10-7.
Yeah. Yep. The ceiling, yeah, is 10 wins, not even 11. And
Right.
and that's their best season. Like they are having a field day with that.
Yes.
So I like that tier a lot. I have the fighting for the playoffs of my official tier is the Cardinals. I threw the Bears with them, and I threw the Colts in with them. And then Chargers, Tampa Bay, Seahawks, Steelers.
Gotcha. Okay. I have the Colts too high. Looking at my list,
I'm worried about their
I
defense.
might have to drop them down. Yeah, and it's like I think we've just talked ourselves into Richardson.
Oh,
Just played like
so much into Richardson.
teams,
He's the best.
if that.
He's really the best. Like because it's funny because he could get injured week 1 again, and I'm just
Yeah,
sign
we
me
can do
up.
things
Sign me
like
up for another year. Sign me up for another year of this. All right,
But like
so
this, like that's team with expectations.
the Colts.
They overperformed last year after he
Yeah.
went down, and now you plug him back onto that team.
Mhm.
So they got another receiver, didn't they? Didn't they draft?
Yeah, they
no,
got the
I
guy
knocked
with
them down.
the guy Adonai Mitchell who didn't. What was
Right.
his deal? What was his deal?
Guy who is a diabetic and doesn't treat it right.
That's what it
Was that
was. I
that
knew he
guy?
was a diabetic, but I forget what he did. He just doesn't treat it. He doesn't treat it right.
And then he gets really angry.
Bro needs a Snickers.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You're not you. You're not you, and you're hungry.
I think that was the hardest I've ever laughed doing one of these podcasts is when we talked about that. That was the greatest like pre-draft player profile.
Such a dumb story. Such a draft story, like a classic draft story.
Yeah, well. But I
Alright.
was like, I don't want this guy. Like, diabetic. He can't even girls in diabetes. Like, how's he gonna succeed in the NFL?
This guy.
Oh man, that was funny.
All right.
Okay, so
What do you got next?
yeah, I can see you had Colts and Bears on there. I didn't have those. Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah, that's
All right,
tampering the
my-
expectations of those two teams. I think for the general landscape.
Right, your tier has the expectations are kind of all over the place there.
I agree.
That doesn't mean it's a bad tier. It's just a different way of sorting them.
Thanks.
My next tier I have make or break season. And I have the Jags and the Dolphins. Those are the two big ones. The other two might be stretches. Jags, Dolphins, make or break year. And then I have the Bears and the Seahawks.
Okay, Bears. I'd say
The
is definitely
Seahawks,
too
like-
early.
For make or break.
And, like if they break, they have to like break. The
How
Bears.
about
Like,
for
they like win like
how about
one
for
game?
Eberflus?
Yeah, I think it's probably make or break for Eberflus.
Make or break for Eberflus.
That's a good. All right. Then keep him in there like that. I think make or break for Gino and the Seahawks.
Exactly.
And
Like
I like
don't
the
know how
make or
many more years they can do with Gino.
I like the make or break with the two Florida teams. I
Mhm.
think they are at
They both just signed the big extensions.
yep.
Tua and Trevor.
So that means. Sorry, I'm laughing at a comment Ethan just
What?
said. Ethan said, Chris said that your tiers aren't bad. They're just ... different.
They're special.
They are special. They're special tiers. The Jags and the Dolphins, yes, both signed mega contracts. Their coach has been there for a little bit. They have some repertoire behind them. Definitely make or break for Doug. I think Doug is on the hot seat if there's
Hot
any
seat, for sure.
issues in Jacksonville. And
Yeah. I think McDaniel they'd have to blow up. for
I was
him to
gonna
be on the
say
hot
they'd
seat.
have to
I think they'd
lose.
love him.
They'd have to lose big time for McDaniels to be.
And somebody would hire him right away.
Oh yeah.
I don't like he's not going anywhere.
It's funny
He's a
though with the
genius.
Dolphins, it's like with the Jags, I can see where the make or break could come because you could break with the coach. I can't see where the break is with the Dolphins just because I don't see where there's an opportunity where they don't run it back again. Like I feel like they're stuck
Yeah,
in
and
a
that's true.
time zone where they're just have to run it back until they win.
It's almost like an expectations thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they do the same thing they did last year, that's just who they are now.
Yeah.
And we're gonna expect the same thing every year. Then they might be demoted to bid. Well, not even.
I think
I don't know.
yeah.
They'd be in like the Cowboys, whatever Cowboys tier is.
Yeah, well, it'll just be like the believers are gone. Like you have
Right.
believers for a couple years in the NFL, and then eventually they all
Mhm.
dissipate. Like you could put Herbert alone in the make or break year for believers.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. I'm in on it.
Herbert or Tua?
Your tier, just your tier in general. I'm in on the tier.
What?
I'm in on the tier. I like
No,
it.
you said you could put Herbert in make or break.
Yeah,
like,
like a
by
low.
himself.
Like I'm saying, like if he has a terrible year, like his believers are done after this year. That's what, in a believer standpoint.
Oh, so you're just like bringing up Herbert, like as a
I was comparing it
side angle.
as like as
Okay,
a
got it.
comparison to like
That threw
how
me
I
off.
now understand your tier where you could do the same. All right, whatever.
Yeah, no. I do get it. I just
All right, I'm glad we got that
we're
covered.
talking about
The
the
Dolphins,
and
the
Jaguars.
Dolphins will
You
have
said
no
Justin
believers.
Herbert.
All right. The Dolphins will have no
Correct.
believers if they lose.
If they don't
just
at least
like,
win a playoff game.
just like Justin Herbert this year.
Right, yes.
All right, I'm glad we got that cleared up.
It was a good comparison. It was just out of left field.
Thank you. I'm glad we got it cleared up.
No long week.
I didn't want the audience to be confused too. That would have been bad.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're following just fine.
Dude, they haven't followed one in like 4 years. They haven't followed a podcast. All right.
So talking about tiers that they're not looking at. Although we will post these on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yeah. These will be on Instagram.
If you
So-
want to pause, wait till we post and then listen to the rest.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ethan's the only one listening to it live, but
Although, yeah, then you might forget, so actually don't hang up.
that's a good point. All right.
Ethan.
Where am I at? You're at how many tiers you got left?
Well, I have 4 left.
All right.
So
I
you
have a
should
big one.
3 probably.
Yeah, I have a big one. Do you have a smaller one? That's next.
I have 4, 3, 5, 3.
All right, I'm just gonna do this big one then.
You want me to
And
go?
then- Nah, I'm just gonna do this big one, and then
Why?
we do 2.
Okay.
And then we should be like even because this one's a 7. All right.
Okay.
So
That
this
would
is,
be even, yeah.
yeah. So now gonna be in the mix means they're gonna be in the playoffs. They're gonna win a game or be close to winning a game. You're not gonna want to see them in the playoffs. I have the Bills. I have the Packers. I have the Texans. I have the Falcons. I have the LA Rams, the Cowboys, and the Jaguars. I think all of them will make the playoffs and will be close to winning a game.
Yeah, the only thing there is that I'm comfortable seeing the Jaguars in the playoffs.
That's a good point.
I like that. That would give me any pause. Outside of that, I can see it.
I really want
A
to
lot
know
of
what this
teams,
Falcons
but yeah.
defense is like, though.
Yeah,
The Kirk Cousins signing is like kind of put a band-aid over
we don't
all
know
this.
about the Achilles.
Well, and not even that. I feel like the Kirk
Achilles is a big
Cousins
deal.
signing has been, let's just put a band-aid over all of the Atlanta stuff. Like they're just going to be good, and maybe I should take them
They
down
could
a notch.
Good.
Yeah, they could be good. I just put them in as I think they're going to make the playoffs, especially with the NFC being trash.
Right.
But are there other
But
holes on the Falcons?
they're another team where like I'm not scared to see them in the playoffs.
No, I wouldn't be either. I mean, rookie head coach Kirk Cousins never be afraid in the playoffs, and the history of just being the Falcons. Yeah. All right. So then them and the Jaguars. So what you're saying here is that them and the Jaguars should get their own tier.
Maybe. I don't know, because their teams on such different, like the situations are so different, but yet like record wise and just like roster wise, they're actually pretty similar.
I guess that makes sense.
Did I nail that?
I think so. So
I was just like staring at my tier list and then I looked up and you were laughing at me.
I don't know why I'm laughing at you. I thought that was just a funny way to say it. They're like,
Does that make sense?
yeah. So okay,
They're different, but they're
they're
also
they're different because they wait. Why are they different? Why are they different?
It's because the quarterback situation. That's the difference. Is that the Jags are in like year 5 of Trevor, and
Yeah.
you've had these expectations like slowly building, and now it's kind of at the point where either he's going to show us something this year or
He's not.
he is who he is.
Yeah.
Whereas the Falcons haven't been able to find a quarterback for a couple years. They have an iffy roster, and now they went out and signed a free agent to try to, like you said, put a band-aid on all of their other flaws.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I think the result is going to end up being similar. It's just a
Yes.
different, like,
Yeah, different ways of getting there.
perspective. Yeah. Right.
All right, I like it. I know what you're saying. So
That was
what?
tough.
Also, what you're saying here, it's funny. Great to love tiers list. Wait, what you're saying here is on my tier list, that's how you would categorize them. But on your tier list, you'd categorize them the way that they're different.
Right. Yeah. My Jags are make or break.
Yeah.
Falcons are in my next tier, which is
Go ahead.
expect to make the playoffs, but running out of time.
Okay.
So the Falcons, you just signed an older quarterback.
Yeah.
His time is running out. Like the Falcons couldn't. There's no way that the Falcons have a good season for their standards and miss the playoffs.
I was just gonna say, how funny would it be if Atlanta misses the playoffs?
They might.
Be very funny. Be hilarious
It
even.
would be fun. I like Kirk though.
I like Kirk too much too. I think he's too nice. Of a
I don't think
guy.
anyone doesn't, but anyway, that's like our number one rule is not to talk about the Falcons. Although now that they have Kirk Cousins,
I was gonna
Guess we're
say,
allowed
do we,
to, right?
and new coach. They no longer have Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith was the main factor behind that. We just knew like he was just boring, and
we nailed that, by the
we
way.
nailed it so bad. We nailed it so good.
Like 3 years ago.
The second
like
they
that-
hired,
how he
we
looked like
said
a boob.
he looked like a boob, and he was never gonna amount to anything. And he was like the
Yeah.
most hated Falcons coach of like all time. We have some bangers
So
on here.
smug too. We do end up having good takes.
Yeah, we have some good takes.
sometimes. I mean, the Rams was like
yeah, nailed the
take of
super.
takes.
Yeah, take.
did nail that.
Yeah, and that was great too, because maybe that was just because I doubled down on it. Because I doubled down halfway through the season. Remember
You
we
did double
the-
down halfway
We did
through the
the-
year. I doubled down right before the playoffs,
Yes.
and I won some money, so
Yeah.
I was pretty happy about that.
All right.
Anyway, so the other teams in that tier, which is expect to make the playoffs but running out of time, Dallas Cowboys,
Okay.
who honestly should have their own tier of just like 12-5.
It's like 12,
Um,
and same with like all the offseason stuff. It's like Jerry Jones is gonna say that they're gonna go be all in. They're gonna not sign their guys to extension.
All in my ass.
Yeah, all in my ass. I'm sad Skip's
Thank you,
gonna be
Skip.
gone. I'm sad Skip's.
Where
gonna
is he
go.
Is he retiring?
No, I don't think
Or is he just
anyone
going to
wants
a
him
different-
though. No, nobody wants him.
He needs to do what Tucker Carlson did and
Yes,
just like start
yes.
his own
His
network. The Skip Bayless network would be
yeah.
awesome.
The SBN, Skip Bayless Network. That'd be fire. Tucker Carlson Network. That was hilarious.
That's what he
And then-
did.
He did, and then he comes out. He's like, "They're trying to censor me." It's like, dude, you just got your own news channel. What do you mean they're trying to censor you?
Anyway, so Cowboys, I think if they don't, because they don't have their own tier on my list, I think this is where they fit in the best. I have the Rams, who Stafford's getting old,
Yep.
so that's the rationale there, and then the Jets,
Yep.
who you just signed Aaron Rodgers, who has 2 years max left.
When I think the key to this tier, and the way I like how you phrased it is, if they don't make the playoffs, their fan base is in panic mode.
Right.
And for
And
a
there's
number
only
of
one
different
of these
reasons.
teams that has a recent Super Bowl
Yeah.
to say, okay, that's fine. We'll just
Yep.
we are who we are. We'll rip it down.
Yeah, and none of the other teams are going to want to.
Three of these teams can't back out. on
No, yeah, they can't back out. They can't rip it down. So,
Yeah.
I like that tier a lot.
Thank you. And then to cover the other teams that you had in your bigger tier,
Oh yeah.
I have expect to make the playoffs, but need some time. And I'll add need some time to become championship contenders.
Okay.
And that's the Packers, the Texans, and the Colts, who I put too high. I'm not sure where to put the Colts. I think you do expect to make the playoffs if you're the Colts, though.
I think that's not a bad tier to put them in, because they definitely can. Because you expect to make the playoffs, but have time in case they don't. So
Mhm.
I don't mind that. It's funny. Can you put the Bills back? Because they were in this tier before. Can you put them back into the tier now that they lost? They traded people away.
Oh no, they've graduated.
All right, I'm glad they've graduated.
You can't go. This is a tier that you can't go back into. Like this is a 1 year. This is a rental tier.
All right, I like it.
You only get 1 year of this.
Yeah, I like it.
You get your first. So this is how team building works. You go from trash and concerned up to trash, but could be encouraging. To then what? There's something in the middle. And maybe you just jump to like you have 1 year, maybe 2 years in encouraging trash, and your second year is when you take a leap. And then you're in this expect to make the playoffs, but need some time.
Okay.
And from that point, you either go to Super Bowl or bust, or you go back down to make or break season.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, especially with what the Cowboys, or not the Cowboys, the Packers and the Texans. Those are teams that everyone's gonna have a lot of expectations for this season because of how well they did last season, and they're not gonna live up to the expectations. They're not gonna win the Super Bowl this year, either of those two teams.
Right.
So
But like, if you go to the NFC Championship as the Packers,
oh yeah, right on.
that's a good year.
Yeah, it's a great year.
But it's the next year that it's not a great year.
Agree. They
And that's what the Bills did.
Yes, they have 1 or 2 more years, or 1 more year really, where they have to look pretty and win some fun games, and then the big boy pants come on next year.
Mhm.
All right, I have, because now we're caught up, right?
I think so. I have 8 teams left.
All right, I have 9.
And I think
so
they are. Oh, right. You have. Yeah. All right.
I have 9. because I have the Jets. This is just championship contenders. I expect them to be in a championship game, whether AFC or NFC, either fighting for the game, playing in the game, winning the game, fighting for the Super Bowl. You get the point. I have the Bengals. I have the Eagles. I have the Dolphins. I have the Jets. I have the Cleveland Browns. Glad you agree.
Well, no, I have the Browns. Obviously, I have the Jets and the Dolphins lower because we've already talked about those.
Mhm.
Are you saying from like their fans' perspective or from your perspective?
I think
Like,
with
would
the,
you be? Sorry, go ahead.
I think from a roster perspective, they have a roster to be fighting in the championship games.
Okay.
I think that's how it is. And I think
Fair
if I
enough.
was a fan of these teams, I would expect to at least play in a championship game this season.
Fair enough.
I think some of these teams I'd like flip the table if I wasn't, as in like the Jets, maybe even the Eagles. But
Mhm.
the other ones I'd kind of be okay with. Like they're just good teams. They could win the Super Bowl, but I wouldn't be flipping like
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
Maybe the Bengals if they're not playing in the AFC
So-
Championship. There's probably something wrong.
If they're not what?
If they're not playing in the AFC Championship, there might be something wrong.
Something wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright.
So yeah, my tier is these are Super Bowl or bust teams,
Mhm.
but they have flaws, and that's the Eagles, the Bengals, the Browns, the Bills, and then the team you didn't have, which is the Lions.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we could run through each of them. Eagles crash and burn last year. This is like their third offensive coordinator for Hurts in 4 years. Kelsey gone. Reddick gone. We don't really know what this team is going to look like.
Yeah, this is
Lions.
So wait. Let's pause on them real quick. So does that
Mhm.
mean we have too many like are their expectations too high? Because we as
No,
you
I
just-
don't think so.
You don't think
Because
so?
this is still a roster that's top 5 at worst, top 10 in the NFL.
Okay, I agree. I just want to clear that up. I'm glad we threw that out there.
And if you think like anyone there, see, this is what I mean by that tier that the Packers are in. Like the Eagles were in this tier 2 years ago, and then they graduated,
Mhm.
and then they made a Super Bowl, and there's no going back.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So-
true. We have a question in the chat. Are these ranked within the tier? Mine are. Chris's are not.
Mine or not, yeah. I'll reorganize them before I post them, though.
So they will be on the Instagram. They will.
It's a good question. Yeah, right. So yeah, that's rationale there. Lions. I hate to say it, but Jared Goff.
It's the Achilles heel.
I like Jared Goff. Yeah, there's a ceiling there.
I agree. But
Like, this
the
team
ceiling
is-
went
and
to a Super Bowl.
defense.
Ceiling went to a Super Bowl. Was a couple plays away from
He did, yeah.
winning the Super Bowl. So
Yep, that's true. Bengals knees. That's the flaw. Joe Burrow's body.
yeah,
Like,
wrist.
if they can protect him,
knees.
I don't. There's like he covers up flaws.
He does. He really does. And they're not gonna miss Tyler Boyd as their third wide receiver. What else?
Upset
They're
about
not gonna
Tyler
miss Joe
Boyd, yes.
Mixon. And I don't know,
Higgins, they tagged, right?
yes, they tagged Higgins. Did they lose anyone on the defensive side? I'm very unfamiliar with
Sure
their
they
defense.
did,
I need to figure
I
out
don't know.
because they still have Trey Henderson. I remember he was like holding out or whatever. But I think they're keeping him as well. I need an update on their defense, but as you said, as long as Joe Burrow's out there, he covers up a lot of flaws that when he's not out there that the team has. So
Didn't they sign someone from the Ravens, or am I thinking the opposite?
On defense? I don't think
Yeah.
so. Not anyone big, at least.
Sure.
Pretty sure. All right. While you're looking that up.
Okay.
Where'd you have the Browns?
I had the Browns in this tier.
Okay. In the Super Bowl bust tier. They. It's funny because Watson is so low on all of our boards because of so many different
Yep.
reasons. But that being said, the roster around him is a championship roster, and back before he became who he became, Deshaun Watson was once a very good football player. So if he can ever get to that tier again, oh, Geno Stone, you're right, Chris. Geno Stone went from the Bengals,
Stone.
or from the Ravens to the Bengals. He led the league in picks. Yeah, he did, I think. But anyways, if the Browns can get to that roster and put everything together, they have the defense, they have the weapons on offense. They might even get Brandon Ayuk. They're in the mix for that. So it could be, if they can put it all together, it could be a very highly efficient team. I was gonna say a fun team, but that is not a fun team. Nobody wants to.
No, it's not a fun team.
No, nobody wants to.
And the funny thing is, like, the most fun football that they could possibly play, no one's going to be having fun
No,
because it's Watson.
yeah, and it's him like extending the plays on his feet, doing the shit he did in college. That was really, really exciting to watch, and it's just a shame that you don't get to root for that anymore because he's such a freaking.
Yep.
All right.
And the Bills. I think we know where we're at with the Bills. This
Yeah.
is what, like, year 5 now of can't win a
It's
big
funny.
playoff
I
game.
got him out. I got him out of the
trading away your
championship
best
contenders.
receiver.
I got him out of the
Yeah.
like, and expectation wise,
What was that last year?
Championship contenders. What do you mean?
You had the tier below championship contenders was
Oh, last year. I don't remember last year. No.
no your tier
Oh.
that we're doing right now, that you had like the Cowboys and the
Oh, gonna be in the mix.
Rams. Gonna be in the mix. Okay.
Yeah. Because the reason why out of championship contenders, because I mean their roster's just worse. I mean, expectation wise, they should be a Super Bowl or bust team, but their roster is clearly worse than it has been the past 5 years. Their defense is worse. Their offense is drastically worse. So I know they're going to be in the mix, but there's a chance they miss the playoffs. It's not a long shot. They might be the third best team in the AFC
division.
East. Yeah.
All from grace.
Yeah, and I love it. And all the Bills fans still think they're going to win the Super Bowl. So
I know.
I can't let them get to me, Chris.
Just hold up your hand.
Yeah, I know. Every time.
Your hand and then another finger.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. All right, last tier. We have the same 3 teams. I have the Lions thrown in there. This is my Super Bowl or bust year, as in, I guess I took it a little more serious, where it is the Super Bowl or it is a failed season for these teams. And I have the Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers, Baltimore Ravens, and now the Detroit Lions. The Lions have hyped themselves up where now they have to win the Super Bowl. Or there's going to be disappointment.
Yeah.
Like and the other thing that I like,
Yeah, I know.
I bet them to have best record in the NFL at plus 1,000 because they have like 17 games, or sorry, 16 games out of 17 weeks where they're in a dome. They're in a dome for 16 games out of 17 of them.
It's suck when they have to go outside.
I know. So
Playoffs,
like they're not going to
yeah.
win the Super Bowl, but like they might have the best record in the league.
I could see that, I guess. I just don't. I feel like too many things went right last year. I think I want to believe Although I actually don't because of Ben Johnson, but like for them, and I like Campbell and I like Goff, and
Oh, Ethan's
it's almost too good to be true.
sorry. Ethan's reading it backwards. No, Ethan, I have it the opposite. The Chiefs would be number 1, and then the Lions would be 4 in this tier. Sorry, he said bold take to have Lions number 1. I was like, I just want to clear that up. And say that the Lions are not my number 1 team. It's indeed the San Francisco Chiefs.
Well, I
Or
mean,
San Francisco- oh.
you said that they have the best. I don't think they get the best record.
Yes, I did do that. That doesn't mean I think they're going to win the Super Bowl though.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It's funny. Two very
Um,
different bets. Both means you're a good team,
Yes.
but two very different bets.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, my tier is strongest contenders, which is they're still Super Bowl or bust, obviously, but very minimal flaws, if any, and that's Ravens, Niners, Chiefs.
Nice.
So like these are the teams where it's really like you can't really get better. So
No, there's not a
the
lot of
regular
holes
season
on
is
any.
almost just a waste of time. Like as long as you make the playoffs, like
The Chiefs might win 10 games
Whatever.
this season. They
Yeah,
might win
like, who
10,
cares?
11 games.
They're in
They,
the
they might
playoffs.
not care at all.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. These teams, as you were saying, not caring about the regular season. Like this is last year it was the Ravens like try to get Lamar the MVP, try to get the number 1 seed.
Mhm.
Now it's like
yeah, you
there's-
have like a magical regular season.
yeah, and now it's like week 15, maybe week 14, and you already have like 11 wins. Sit Lamar. Like, let's just get these guys ready for the January. That these guys are the flawless teams. What would be the like? I guess the most flaws would be on the Ravens compared to the other 2 teams, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it might be the Chiefs, and it just doesn't matter. We're just
Yeah.
doing roster wise.
Yeah, because you're right. They're everyone that they lose, they're just gonna find someone to fill in. That and
Yeah.
it's such a cop out because when you win the Super Bowl, you just kind of the holes in your rosters just go away. There aren't any holes in your roster because you just won the Super
But they've done
Bowl.
it 2 years in a row.
Exactly. So like, there's like literally like you're just nitpicking to find anything that can
Yeah.
bring these guys down.
But it's like they have holes.
But they don't matter. The holes don't
Like-
matter.
Exactly. They don't matter.
And it's funny because the Niners are almost the
And
opposite.
that's something that no NFL
It's like-
team has.
It's like they have no holes.
Yeah,
but
they have no
It
holes.
does matter because they don't have Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, exactly.
All right, comment from Ethan. If Niners lose BA, then they have more holes. Oh, Brandon Ayuk.
Oh,
I was very
Well,
confused. If
yes.
it was.
That's true. I don't think
yes.
that's gonna happen.
Ravens beat Niners,
And
beat
does-
Lions and Niners yesterday, assuredly. What does
What?
that mean? It says P.S. Ravens beat Lions and
Oh,
Niners
Ravens beat them.
last year, assuredly. Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
true. I mean, I
It's
have
a
him
shame
ranked
that-
above. We have them both ranked
Yeah,
above.
right.
I don't know what he's still bitching. What's he bitching about? Besides the
if
Niners?
we're
Besides the Niners.
if we're gonna use last season's regular season games as arguments for like why your team that put up a dud in the AFC Championship should be ranked higher,
Point.
that was rude. But
It's okay. I didn't realize
rest
what he
season,
was.
let's not.
I didn't realize what he was complaining
It's not
about until
Lions,
the
but
Niners.
too.
But like, come on. Yeah, you beat the Niners in the regular season. That's great. They did whoop them too. That was what like
A good
Chris-
win. Yeah, they did. It was
Yeah.
impressive
That was an impressive win.
in San
It's-
Francisco.
Yeah.
But
then they didn't make it. They didn't last longer than the Niners though.
yeah, like you're in the tier with them.
That is true. I guess he doesn't get. But we shouldn't feel bad. He's the one that started. All right. I think that does it.
That's
Right?
it. That's a 32.
Yeah, that is all 32. We'll do Super Bowls and we'll do bets. We'll have a bet episode. We'll
Yep.
do Super Bowl predictions. We'll do all that stuff. This is just to get the tier list out there. We will post the tier list online, on Instagram, on Twitter I'm mad we can't stream on Twitter anymore. I like streaming on Twitter. We're back on Twitch.
Yeah.
If you guys are curious to what we switch back to. So we are on Twitch Live and YouTube Live. If you are listening to that right now, thank you all for listening. And if you're listening to the podcast version, thank you all for listening there. See everyone back on a normal schedule starting Tuesday. All right, fingers crossed. It's still the summertime. We're figuring things out. It's funny. I still need to move, so we still have a moving day graphic to be determined. We'll see everyone next week, though. We won't waste another week of doing nothing. So we will be back next week. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you.